So thank you so much for all these wonderful, thoughtful comments I'm getting to my post where I asked about like what healthy, like elevated men want from healthy, elevated women. And I'm seeing, so thank you, because you guys are awesome and like you restore my faith in humanity. I'm seeing a lot of comments around peace. And I think that's really interesting and valid. And it makes me think back to another post I did last week, which was more of a funny one around like men's dating profiles and red flags. And one of the ones is those profiles that say no drama. Like I swipe left on those because when I see that, I perceive a man that like can't handle his shit and has like this chaotic life around him with like 18 baby mamas and like family drama and like just madness that he has no control over. Plus, probably he doesn't have like the emotional capacity to know how to deal with all that stuff. And I almost picture that like Peppermint Patty from Peanuts with that like swirl of dust and dirt around her. And that's what I think of a guy who's saying no drama. I'm like, oh yeah, he's dancing into my life with a cloud of shit. But there was a guy that got like mad at me for saying no drama and my perception of it, because he was like, that's not what I mean. And so like we went back and forth a little bit and I kind of tested him a little to like suss out what he was really trying to say. And actually he ended up like giving me a description that was valid. It was like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying. And really what he was saying was peace. And so I think that like no drama means peace. And I just think that some people know how to articulate that better than others. And so when I see the no drama, it kind of like, I'm just like, ugh, okay, that's not an evolved person. That's a probably like a shitstorm with a shitstorm and shitstorms following those shitstorms, right? But there's another thing I see or I think of when I see that is that I think of myself a little bit because I'm like, when someone says no drama, like first of all, I'm not gonna swipe on them. But I look at it and I'm like, ooh, yeah, I definitely would not meet this expectation. Not because I'm a shitstorm that brings a bunch of unresolved craziness into your life that you need to deal with. Not at all. Like all my stuff is tight and like taken care of and healthy and balanced. But I myself am a big personality and I can be very dramatic when I am telling stories and relating things that happen during the day. It's very like lots of hands, lots of exaggerations, making it bigger than it really needs to be. But it's drama almost to the level of what drama is, which is acting, right? So like I know that whatever it is I'm being dramatic and histrionic about in the moment because I'm passionate about something and I'm telling a story. I know deep down it's not a big deal. Like my family's had to listen to my like commute stories for years, all my like left lane incidents and like road rage and the guy that like rammed his car into mine. And like when I tell those stories, they're big stories, they're very dramatic. They're very like, ah, this is what happened. But like at the end of the day, it's no big deal. It's funny. That's why I'm making it dramatic. It's funny, but like it's not an actual like problem. Like if I'm dealing with like problems, and that's very different. Like I have a really healthy way of dealing with problems. Like you figure every family comes with something. Like we had to deal with a couple years ago, we had to deal with a family member dying of dementia. And like, that was really serious. And that was some really tough shit. And like, I was single, going through that. But like, had I been in a relationship going through that, like, I wouldn't, like, that would not have disrupted the stability of the relationship. It just would have been like, here's what we're dealing with right now. It's hard, it's painful, and I'm spending a lot of time at hospice, to do what I have to do for myself and my family. But like, I'm not dramatic about that. I'm not like coming home and like a mess and like you need to fix me kind of thing, right? So I think that I think there's a lot of nuance when you start talking about drama, no drama, peace, right? And I think like a life like that, so take that example, right, of a family member going through dementia, that does create a lot of tension and stress and upset for the family. But like, it doesn't disrupt peace, right? It only disrupts peace if you're a person who's not like able, like who hasn't done the work to manage their emotions, their mental health, and like the way that they approach situations, right? It's just a moment in time in a relationship where one person is experiencing some difficulties from their family, or it could be work, it could be any number of things. We all, in relationships, we all have real life things that we have to deal with, and it is going to impact your other, right? Your other person is part of that journey with you. And I think the piece of that is that you're not looking for that person to like fix you or fix something because you aren't fixed. They're just there. They're your adjacent, right? But like you're not blowing their life up because you can't handle your emotions and you're all over the place and creating drama. I create drama in my stories about how I feel like people should use the left lane. Those are big dramatic stories. But so I even get a little like, oh shit, some guy doesn't want drama. Not gonna want me because I got everything's drama when I'm telling a story. But on the inside, nothing is drama, if that makes sense. So I think that's an interesting thing to think about. So I'm glad that you brought up the whole peace thing, because it definitely is making me think about like, okay, well, how do I present to the world? How do I present to, like, if I'm in a relationship, how would I present? And do I bring peace, right? And then it made me think of, I've recently described that being in a relationship with me is actually the blending of two songs. And if you're Gen X and had great taste in growing up, you'll know these songs, and you'll understand the contrast between them, but also the very thing they have in common. So the first song is Talking Heads, This Must Be the Place, Naive Melody, right? This perfectly beautiful, serene song about like finding home in your person that you were probably always meant to find, and just this safety and beauty and this cloud of peace and protection. Okay, that is me to a core. But none of you see that. And really no one sees that unless they're actually in a relationship with me. But that is a huge part of me and what I bring. But in fairness, the other song is She Sells Sanctuary from the Cult, which is kind of like this crazy song. It comes on in the car and I blast the volume. And it's kind of like, to me, that sounds like adventure and crazy and fun and like, but what he's really saying is that like in the midst of a crazy day, whether it's a fun day, an adventurous day, a horrible day, that he returns to her and it's sanctuary, right? Even if she's part of the wild, the crazy, the adventure, at the end of the day, she's still the sanctuary, right? So you got home and sanctuary, and in those are peace. And the way they sound is a little bit different. One is a little more mellow and one's like hardcore, get that volume up. And like, I swear to God, the Cult wrote that song about me. It is like an anthem when I hear it. But I think it's a really cool way of like looking at oneself. I speak a lot through music. And so those two songs, I would say, like in a relationship, those two things are me. Is that peaceful and calm and like demure all the time? No fucking way. I am not demure. But I know how to switch gears and be whatever level it needs to be. But at the end of the day, I'm both, right? And so it's an interesting thing when you think of peace, because one is a very peaceful song. One is a hardcore rocker, like go out and like have sex kind of song, right? And I guess I'm okay with the fact that I'm both, but you've given me some really deep stuff to think about this morning when I think of peace, because I don't know that it would, like if one, and I'm not, this is not an advertisement to date me. I'm using me as an example and speaking because I'm the expert of myself. I can't speak for other women entirely, only in generalizations. But when I think about myself, I don't know that I exude peace. And I don't know that I can change that or that I want to. I just know what I know on the inside. So good self-reflections for me this morning, and I appreciate that. Thank you. That's what I was looking for, right? Like not just to help me, but to help other people. If there are other women like me who are like a little bit like, you know, ride or die in terms of like, they're solid, right? But they're also a little adventurous, but they're still safe. And is there peace in that? I don't know.